Today, folks, we're working on a Craftsman. Got this from our local store. Sorry, I'm in business. They said we ran straight gas through it. Well, I don't believe that. I also don't like the fact that they don't put it all the way together. Today, I got a little helper because I kind of messed up in the shop and kind of broke my thumb. That's not going to stop me today. So, let's start out with taking this apart. Let's take a crack at this, see if this might be the problem. First, you want to make sure there's no gas in it. Don't see no gas in it. Good. Check that and set it there for now. Looks like we need a star or a flathead. Use this. And come over here. I'm gonna have my assistant do this real quick.
I don't think we have the sauce.
Let me help you out, little man.
I think I got it up there. Yep. Alright.
Make sure it's firm. Other way. There we go.
I was making sure it was firm.
Now when you're taking out a carburetor, apart, you want to put your screws that you take out of your carburetor in your bowl. Sorry.
The cover.
Thank you, assistant. In your cover. Make a perfect little screw holder.
Now that we have the screws out, what do we do now?
Now you want to get a pair of needle nose or some sort of pliers. Lift up the carburetor. See these hoses right here? Sorry.
We'll put this over here where it can't get dirty.
That's okay. We're going to clean that too.
Okay.
Now you want to take those lines and weasel them off.
Gently, but just enough force.
Yep. They'll come off. There's that one. It takes a little bit of finesse and time. We'll get them off.
I think they might have adhesive this one on.
Huh?
They might have used, it looks like they might have melted or used some type of adhesive for this one. Would you go get me the other type of needle nose? The fatter ones?
Let's see here for a second.
Hang on, there's some in here actually.
There you go. You can use these, but sometimes it takes a little bit of extra force. It's okay. Now, last thing, take the throttle linkage off. It just hooked on there like a little. So you can. It's easy to figure that one out. But if not, look out a second, Mr. Assistant. It's hooked on there like a little elbow. Now, this here we're moving out of the way now. Now, grab your little tray, I recommend you grabbing the big boy. Now first, you never want to have a tray dirty like that. Feel like grime and stuff.
That's from other projects.
That'll get in this carburetor and you'll never get it out. So, just a second. I highly recommend using gum out. We're not sponsored by this company, but gum out is wonderful. Use it for almost everything. Go ahead and spray it on there. Look right here. And now use your rag to wipe it out. It's like wiping off a table. Oh, good enough. It looks good to me. You don't want to get the main stuff out. You don't want no loose. You don't want no loose stuff in there. Now, this is what you're going to be working on, assistant. You want to start out with a good firm Phillips. Start. You have a choice now. You can start from the top or top. You can start from the top or the bottom. Gonna let the assistant choose. Like you're gonna start from the top. Now what I recommend you doing, get you one of, if you have to can, find you one of these carburetor bowls from a big boy engine. They work wonderful for these things. I'll demonstrate why after we get done with this carburetor. Now, once you get to this section, you want to be careful because there's a lot of loose stuff right there. You got a plunger. You want to go ahead and dump that in there. Then, go up here, assistant. You have a little film on there.
Gently take the film off?
Yep. It's okay to take your time. This here is kind of a time-consuming project. But now this here is what came off there. Feel what I mean? It's paper thin. That breaks. You'll have to either replace that part or get another one. I mean, get another carburetor. Sorry. But that's the part that it came off of. That's the plunger section. You're going to put that right there. Put all your tiny parts in this bowl. You'll see why. Now, sorry assistant, just a second. You see this right here? This here is the bowl, is the one second.
Brain fart.
Yep, I got a brain fart. Real smelly one too. This here is where all the dirt and clutter goes. If you see any trash in there, that is more than likely the problem. If it's dirty, clean it out and put it back together and you'll have a good working weed eater. 9 times out of 10, that's usually what's wrong. This right here, clean though. So let's get going. It won't zoom in, assistant.
Now start from the bottom.
Yep, you start from the bottom. Now, real quick, you see how he's having trouble getting the bottom off? There's an easy way to fix that. I can't for a second, assistant. Sometimes you can do this. Comes right off.
Or you can use a very small flathead to wiggle it off.
You don't want to do that.
Do you not?
See, there's a gasket on here. You puncture that gasket, it's done. Because you have gas leaking out of your carburetor.
Ah.
Now, that's for this right here. See how it's very sealed on? What we'll do, we're going to leave that on there for now. And put this in your bowl. Yes, we haven't taken that completely off, but we don't take a chance of damaging that. As for this too. Now, what we want to do, we have this neat little sonic cleaner lately. If you don't have a sonic cleaner, you can get some gum out and clean it, or you can get the professional style that always works well with this stuff. It's called B12 chemical tools. See what I mean? It's really good. The way to do that, you just spray this in the bowl, let it set for a few minutes, let it dry, and put it back together. Now, remember this bowl right here? All you gotta do is
What about that film?
the film?
Yeah. You want it melt?
No, it's plastic. Just set it in there. The water, the stuff we're using here won't hurt your skin. We got it on lukewarm right now. Set this in there too. And as for this, you just drop it in there too. What if I have that filter, that little part right there, you want it to set right in there too, facing down where it'd be having pressure. Or you can turn it on the side. But you don't want it facing up, because when it comes up, it'll have a lot of force on it and it'll break it.
What about this piece?
That right there, you can throw it in there too. The only part you can't really throw in there is the filter of this. This right here, it'll absorb it and it'll be almost impossible to get it out.
So best to take that out.
Yeah, it's best to use carburetor cleaner on it. You can put that in there now, and now you have all your parts that you
Can't wash.
can't wash in the container. Then the assistant can put the lid on. Set the timer for, let's go for 4 minutes and 80 seconds. And now, we'll move the tray over. Get the boom boom stuff out of the way.
Get some of the tools out of the way. And to keep the bench from being too dirty, we're just putting it in the toolbox for now.
Now, the assistant can find out if this has any spark. This here is called a spark checker. The assistant can show you how it works.
Put this into the plug.
Make
As
sure it
if-
clicks.
If you want to be able to hear that click. And it's just like an extension to the spark plug. And right here, if it has any spark, it'll show. Put it to where it can be easily seen.
Just a second. We'll make it real, y'all can see it real easy.
Now the only light should be coming from that spark. So it does have spark, which means it has compression as well.
Right.
So now we just take this off.
We would show you the compression on it, but I kind of lost the compression equipment.
Yeah, we don't really know where it went.
Yeah.
We just know that it's in here somewhere.
I gotta hunt it back down. Now, let's check the spark plug itself.
Okay.
Go ahead, assistant. You're doing good.
Getting the color control. What size do you think it would be?
Looks like it's a shorty.
Yeah.
That's not even close.
See how close it is.
One second.
It should be. Yep, this is.
Could use one of these.
It's coming out. So they didn't even tighten it up enough for it to be safe.
Ooh.
And it looks like they didn't clean it.
Well, this is a good example of bad mechanical. Bad mechanics to its finest. See that? That's bad.
It's also very bad on their name.
Yeah. Let's have a look at that piston. It's good that it has compression, but ooh.
Something don't smell right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw that sparker
Right in the water. It's fine. They're built to get wet. Gas is 5% water anyways. So it can go in there too. It helps it clean itself and everything.
18 minutes.
Now, I think what we should do now is go back and get some of that boom boom spray and clean that piston.
Piston's down in there.
We're not going to take it apart to show you just how easy it is to fix this. The system is going to spray a small amount of carburetor cleaner in that piston. And
3 small little sprays should do it.
it's going to take this and hook it on the grill. Then he's going to lightly polish that piston where he has a clean spot on it. It's okay to go a little deep. And if it feels like it's pulling, that means you're getting in there. You want to make sure that piston is up as far as you can where you can get into it.
Now that's a lot cleaner than it was before. Would you want to take a look?
Yeah, that looks good. That there is a good way to clean your piston without having to take the entire thing apart.
All you need is one of these And like you said before, recommend to use this on most stuff.
That's how mechanics clean them without having to take it apart. Now,
Saves quite a bit of time.
now, let's go back to this sonic cleaner and finish taking apart that carburetor. Now, assistant, if you wouldn't mind, it's still not hot, so you can put your hand in there. I'd like you to get that carburetor, please.
Sure thing.
Make sure all the water's out, because you don't want it to get in that tray.
Would you pass me the rag, please?
Certainly.
You don't really want to try to scrub the water up. You just want to kind of dab it.
Now,
and there's some of the grime that you would find all over the carburetor right here on that little lip. That's what we were trying to get off, and it comes off very easily with the rag.
now, what you want to do, turn it back over to that part that you couldn't get off before.
And it should easily come off now.
Yep. You don't have to fight it now. Now, what you want to do,
And set this in that bowl.
yep. You set it in that bowl that you had before.
And drop it back in the sonic cleaner.
You got it right back in that sonic cleaner. Now, here's where the fun begins. Show the viewers. See all those little bitty parts? You gotta take all that apart so you can get into it.
You set the carburetor right there to be taken apart.
Now, there's two ways you can do this. There's an easy way and a hard way, but we're gonna do the easy way because no one really likes doing the hard way.
Just want to get that out of the way.
Yeah, that's pretty much done for now. Unless there's any more serious problems with it, we're not going to take it any farther apart. Now, the way this carburetor is set up, you can use the standard Phillips head screwdriver to take that out. But
It would most likely be easier to use a small flathead.
we're going to use a regular Phillips for the heck of it.
This one's too big.
We're going to use the flathead.
Okay. Small flathead.
Be careful and not lose the spring, okay?
See that little spring slowly coming up higher and higher the more you unscrew it. Okay, now that it's completely unscrewed, gently,
You can leave that screw in there.
now you can just gently take that spring out.
Show the viewers that spring, because that spring's the key to this carburetor.
Don't know if y'all can see it, but yeah, y'all can see the little pieces that are put together. In between that is the entire spring. It's not very big, but it's very, very needed. So we just put that in that bowl. And what about the piece that controls the spring?
Take that out too.
So the flathead has a little magnet on it. Okay, seems to not be magnetic, so we're going to use the flathead just to lift it up enough where I can use my fingers to get it out.
There you go. Put that in the tray.
And what about that little bar?
Take that out too. You can actually just dump it in your hand and it comes out.
Now that comes out real easily.
Now here's where the fun comes. There's a little jet there. I'm going to help you out here because that's usually stuck on them.
I'll show you. Show them what it is. It's right here in the back. Right here. It's where it's
That's another thing that usually happens on these. They get stuck and you have trouble. You take them and you wiggle them out. And there you go.
Pull them out in your hand.
You definitely don't lose that either. That's another problem with these.
So we're going to pick that up and put it in the bowl as well.
You always want, that's what I'm getting at about these bowls. You want one of these bowls. It helps. Now,
something like this you could use as well, but it's deeper and it's harder to get to what you need.
now, all this stuff here. You got a carburetor.
You want me to tighten that screw back up?
Nah, it's fine.
Okay.
You got the carburetor ready and disassembled. You want to take that and put it back in your solvent cleaner. Or you can spray it. Now, assistant, would you put this little bowl in the solvent cleaner?
Yes, I would. It's still dripping. We don't want to get that all over the counter. So I'm going to use that to get it over here. And now it's back to what we had before. The filter and the 2 bolts. And we're going to use a rag to dry up all the water and everything like that came out of it with that little bowl. Turn around. Now,
We're going to let it set and we'll be back when it's done. We'll show you what happened.